I grew up with my dad playing lots of Call of Duty Zombies, and I loved it. I still play Zombies. I loved Cold War. BO6 has been okay, but it's not great. I mean, I like the older ones are fun, but I like the casualness of Cold War. I like the casualness of BO6, but it's all. I still like Zombies overall, but that's not the point of this. I grew up playing Zombies, and I've always been a Zombies fan. Most of the Zombies I like, and my dad and I also used to like Modern Warfare 3 Survival because we thought it was a good alternative to zombies. It was cool to see Infinity Ward's take on kind of the wave-based horde shooter, and I used to love it a lot playing with my dad. I remember I had one of my friends, Nick, over, and we would just play that, even though he didn't like it very much. He still seemed to have some fun, but he doesn't like horde shooters anyway, which is fine. That's also not the point. Recently, I re-bought Modern Warfare 3 through Steam on my computer just so I could play the survival mode, and I gotta say, I've been having some real fun, but there are some problems with it and I want to talk about and maybe offer some ideas for future survival. And there's this thing that I didn't know before making this video, is that Modern Warfare 2019 added a survival mode, which I did not know about. So I will be trying that after I make this video. So, let's just start talking about Modern Warfare 3 Survival. So, it's the same kind of plug and play that Zombies is, where you kind of just hit start on one of the maps, and you play. You're pit on a map based on the one you choose, and your goal is just to survive as long as possible. There's no backup that you can call, except there is in survival, but we'll get to that. So you play your first wave, you kill the few guys that are there, you go to the next one, and then you unlock these three different things. There's one where you have armory upgrades, then you have explosives and armor upgrades, then you have air support. The armory is very basic. It just allows you to buy guns and put attachments on them. Very simple. Then you have the armor and explosives, which like you can get frag grenades, flashbangs, sentry guns, body armor, self-revive, you know, just like equipment, basically. Gear, if you will. And then air support is kind of what it says, air support. You can get an airstrike, a predator missile, you can call reinforcements of a Delta squad or a riot shield squad, and then you can also buy perk packages, which are dropped in the form of a care package, but just with a perk instead of a score streak. Now, this format works, and it's great. So after Wave 3, you unlock all the potential things and resources to survive, and then it's just the wave's gone infinitely. So you kill all the enemies, you clear the wave, then the next wave, you have 30 seconds between waves unless you ready up before then. But there is no wave skip bonus, unfortunately. And after like Wave 5 or so, you start fighting these. Sorry, at Wave 4 to like Wave 10, you start fighting these like Russian police guys with MP5s, and then Wave 6 is like a helicopter. Wave 10 there's a juggernaut. Past Wave 10 is like Russian soldiers with AKs. Then you got round 15 with two juggernauts, a whole two of them. And then past that, you fight the guys with the ACRs, I believe. After the AKs, yeah. And then you fight 3 juggernauts in round 20. And this kind of cycle continues until Wave 30. And then after Wave 30 is where each map like tops out. Like there's like super juggernauts, and then there's the regular juggernauts, there's riot shield juggernauts, and they all have their gimmicks and stuff. There's the chopper gunners and K9s, suicide bombers. There's tons of units to play around with. But they kind of copied Zombies a little too much, because as you progress the rounds, they kind of just increase in health the same that the Zombies do in the Zombie series. But they don't go infinitely. They do top out at some point. But it gets to a point where you're just shooting these guys. You're unloading mags of LMGs upon these guys. They're sitting there screaming in pain, flinching, but like they're not dying. The other weird thing that they did is they gave the different guns from MP different damage values. So a gun that you unlock at a higher level does more damage. So like all the LMGs are like the top 2 LMGs at the bottom of the list are like the 2 best ones, like the L96 one, the Bullpup Drum Mag LMG. Those are the best ones because they do incredible damage in their LMGs. So those are typically the meta, is just to carry 2 LMGs, have a riot squad, and then 2 sentry guns, and find a corner somewhere that you can just camp, and then have them shoot at each other. One thing that's interesting is that I noticed that the squads, the air support squads, have the same health mechanic that all the enemies do. So the higher round you go, the more damage that your riot squad can also take. Because it's kind of funny, because you'll just see like the juggernauts absolutely meleeing and like destroying the riot guys, but they're just like standing there still shooting at the juggernaut like at point blank. So high round's definitely not as cool, but I gotta say, some of the NPC interactions of like your squad fighting the other enemy types is pretty cool. Like every now and then, your guy will get a drop on the enemy where they're on the ground, and then your riot guy will like pull out his pistol to formally execute him. But then sometimes, if the bad guy gets the prompt and he hits A quick enough, then he actually shoots your guy, and then your guy dies, and he just gets back up. So. A little unfair in the sense that, like, you have to pay money for your squads, and, like, they die so easily, especially in the early rounds. But it's cool. I always found the sentries to be much more effective at, like, defending a position, but even then, they have, like, this weird health system where they don't actually have a health bar. But if they take too much fire, like, under a certain period of time, it's like a regenerative health bar, kind of. I'm not sure exactly how it works, but, yeah, if they take too much damage in a short amount of time, then they blow up. I don't know if that's how the riot guys work or whatever, but it's an older style game, so all that's pretty hidden. Another complaint I have, besides with the health thing, is that it kind of seems like they didn't reuse all the content they could have. So I'm gonna go ahead and boot up Modern Warfare 3. So you go to play, I'll go to private match so I can look at the classes. So you look here, you can have 3 perks in multiplayer. There's different kinds of tactical and lethals, and then you have this stuff, and then you go to primary, and then you go to your M4, and then here's your proficiency, attachments, and then you pick your attachment. There's a lot here. So you have your sights, you have your grenade launcher, silencer, hybrid sights, extended mags. You don't get all these. In survival, the only ones you're allowed to have are the sights, the ACOG, the red dot, and the holographic, wherever that is. Or the ACOG. The ACOG, the red dot, and the holographic. Those are the only ones you're allowed. You're not allowed the heartbeat sensor. You're not allowed the silencer. You get the grenade launcher. You get the shotgun. You're not allowed the hybrid sight. You're not allowed extended mags, and you're not allowed thermal. For some reason, they limited the attachments so much in Spec Ops and the survival mode. They also don't let you have a proficiency. I believe all the guns are there, but they're just like limited in their attachments. Yeah, because I've seen all these in survival. You can also buy riot shields, but you can only buy them through the grenades thing. But look how many perks there are. There are only 4 or 5 perks in survival. There's 15 in multiplayer that you could pick from. I understand that a lot of them might not be as useful, but I still think it'd be nice to at least have like 2 or 3. It's just like the multiplayer, so we could basically set up a multiplayer class near your strike package. And I get that that's not for everybody to death streak. Like these don't matter in survival, but I think it'd be nice if we could at least have all of this in the form that it was in multiplayer, or at least being able to buy it in game. Like, I feel like if they do a new survival, if they ever make a new survival, they definitely should make it to where they allow you to have like a full like multiplayer type class setup, even if it's not like. Even if it's a thing like they still want it to be plug and play, we just kind of go in, they could still have it to where you can at least get the same amount of shit in game. You know what I mean? To where you could still have all 3 perks. You could still buy all 3 perks. You could still buy different lethals and tacticals. You could still have more attachments on your primary and secondary. Because like sometimes there are moments in the survival where the muzzle flash of the gun is so fucking much I can't see, and I wish I could put a silencer, because silencers do reduce the muzzle flash even in older COD games, which is super nice. It's like a hidden buff. But now you can't do that because there's no silencer in fucking Spec Ops. And also a heartbeat sensor. I mean, you can see them on the map anyway, so it wouldn't be that useful. It would just be like having a better UAV. But still, extended mags would be cool. A hybrid sight would be cool. A thermal would be cool. I think all of that would be more interesting, and having 3 fucking perks. I think that'd be a lot better than the way we have it in the current survival. Let me go ahead and load up into a survival lobby. Survival armory. So weapons. There should be all the weapons here. Like a weapon. Okay, here we go. Weapon upgrades. You see ACOG, grip, red dot, holographic. That's it. The grip is nice, but like you're only allowed to have it on the LMGs for some fucking reason. Or maybe shotguns, I'm not sure. But it's only on some of the guns. It's not on a lot of them. You can't have it on assault rifles. All the underbarrel grenade launchers. I don't know why there's like 3 different types, because you can have all 3 on each gun. I don't know why. I don't know how that works, but whatever. ACOG, shotgun attachment. This all like I barely use any of these besides the sights and the grip. Those are the meta. Like, I never use the launchers because you only get 2 shots. It's so fucking useless, especially for survival. This sucks. And then we go to equipment. This is the equipment. I gotta say, they did really good with the equipment. They gave you a lot of options. The sentry guns, I like how they gave you 2 of them. Self-revive, body armor, RPG, C4, Claymore. Both C4 and Claymores are really good for dealing with juggernauts. And if you're early game and need to go eco, you could use a flashbang and then just light them up. And then you got your frags, obviously. Bright shield. They stacked the fucking equipment area, the gear. They stacked this. This is great. Love this. But then you go to air support. This looks stacked until you realize that 5 of these are just perks and you can only use 1 of them. So yeah, here's the Predator missile, here's the airstrike, Delta Squad, super fucking sick, except they're not geared up like this. They only have basic M16s and they're really fucking weak and stupid. Then there's the Riot Squad. Quick draw, steady aim, stalker, extreme conditioning, sleight of hand. You can only have 1 of these perks at a time. This sucks. I wish you could have 2. I think it'd be acceptable to have, because I'd love to have extreme conditioning and sleight of hand, or maybe like steady aim, stalker. You know, they all have their use. And I gotta say, the AI for the Delta Squad and the Riot Shield Squad is actually pretty good. Another example of old AIs actually being pretty smart. They never really get in the way. They're always trying to adapt to whatever position you're in and trying to fortify themselves. It's all right, but there are times when it gets annoying or they move slow and they're just being stupid. You know, it's old, it's flawed, even though it was a lot better. And honestly, that's about it. Now I can exit the game. There you go. Now you know that there's a lot of misuse content. That was my other complaint. There's also a lot of like miniature moments during the games where like the dogs are always like 1 stab for a pretty few good decent rounds, and then eventually they become suicide canines, which is I mean, cool, I guess. But one interesting thing that I noticed is that for all of the regular suicide bombers on foot, like the guys with guns, the shotguns, you can just 1-tap them and then their bomb will immediately set off and then they'll blow up. But the dogs, you have to fully kill before their bomb goes off, which is it's just like kind of an inconsistency that I don't like. I think that those canine suicide bomber dogs should be the exact same. I think you should be able to shoot them once then the bomb goes off, and that would give them a reason for sending regular canines later on in the game. Even if it's really, if this is like round 200 or some shit. So that was one thing. But also, when the dogs attack you, typically that's a good chance for you to knife them and like make them go down. If you have no armor and a dog hits you, they'll knock you down on the ground and you have to like snap their neck or whatever. It's like a prompt that you have to do, a quick time event, QTE. Otherwise you just die. And then, but also what's kind of annoying, even when you have armor and the dogs are just hitting you, they hit you, they're right in your face, you stab, but your knife doesn't work. Now this is just an example of knifing in older COD games kind of sucking. The old knife and melee system was kind of dog shit, if we're honest. It was pretty bad. Because there was multiple times where like, hey, my knife clearly would have hit that dog if my character was any kind of fucking smart. But nope, because technically the flinch made your camera go a different direction. It doesn't count. So that's one that I really didn't like. Also, the enemy's aim is like perfect, kind of, because there's so many times where they'll just run across a piece of cover and then like blind shoot you, not even looking at you, and then they'll hit you like 3 times, and it just shreds your armor. So buying armor is so like fucking like pointless. Like it just like it feels so redundant, because especially if you're camping, which is the strategy to do because of chopper gunners, there's no reason like they just always know where you are, so they can always just like blind shoot you, just running. So I kind of didn't like that. The sentries targeting is sometimes stupid. They take a while to respawn. They don't always hit. Really stupid. I mean, that's pretty much it. Now I guess we could get to my idea of survival. I think it'd be cool if we did it more like zombies, where you have like a fully geared setup where you start with like 1 nade, 1 stem, your like maybe a special ability. Now zombies perks were always renowned for being special because they always did a lot more, and you could always have 4 of them, which was pretty good. And like there's obviously the obvious setup where you have quick revive for the self revive, then you have jug, obviously speed cola, and a lot of people would pick double tap, but if there's stamina up on that map, you know damn well I'm taking stamina up. I prefer stamina up, sorry, that's what I like. But I do think it'd be cool if we had like maybe like we could add specialists to the co-op, in the sense of, because in Modern Zombies, in Cold War and BO6, you had your like your X key ability, like Aether Shroud, Healing Aura, Frenzied Guard type shit. I think it'd be cool if we could have that converted into more of a Modern Warfare style, where it's like it's more of like assault or support or recon or, you know, shit like that. I think that'd be cool. And then you have your primary and secondary. Then you have like, I don't think we should have perks in the beginning. I think maybe we should do a thing where it's like you can only start with a pistol. So you're only allowed to start with one of the pistols in the game. Maybe a machine pistol if you like are like high prestige Siege or something, or have done a certain challenge, like a Dark Ops challenge. And then you have like your proficiency or specialty or specialist ability, whatever you want to call it. And then you have a nade and a tactical, and then throughout the game you would automatically have the overkill perk, because why the fuck not? That's been in like, that's like all of the, it's just the thing in these horde modes. And then you would be allowed to buy up to 3 perks, and then maybe you could add like some kind of Easter egg or like Dark Ops challenge. If you get to around 30 or 40 on every map, then you could just have like, you could just buy all the perks if you wanted. Like the perk cap would be unlocked. And I think it'd be more interesting if we got more perks, especially, is important. Because, like, there's a lot more you could do. You could add more generalized perks like Zombies has, but don't try not to steal their branding. Just call them what they did in Modern Warfare. I'm fine with it being more generalized in Modern Warfare because it's Modern Warfare. It doesn't need to have the style of Zombies because it's Zombies. I want Zombies to be its own thing. I want this to be its own thing. It's because I feel like with survival especially, it's more gameplay oriented than lore oriented. I feel like Modern Warfare have always, like, they've linked their modes to their proficiency. Like, you keep the story in the campaign. You keep the multiplayer stuff, the batshit crazy multiplayer stuff, the multiplayer. You keep the third co-op mode to itself. You kind of make it more generalized and just, you know, focus on PvE gameplay. You focus on story gameplay. You focus on PvP gameplay. I feel like that's always what the older COD games were good at, but nowadays it feels like every mode is like every other mode, kind of. Like, it's always so, like, the co-op is kind of blended with the campaign because there's so much after, like, seasonal content that they have shoved into the game. But this is kind of sidetracking, but yeah, I think that would be good. I think that they should get rid of the health increase over waves. Like, that's just like straight up copying Zombies, and it doesn't work for a mode such as survival, in my opinion. I think it should just be a thing where you fight stronger units, yes, but let's not just spam the stronger units. I don't know. I think survival mode has a higher potential to just be that mode that you can chill out on, but also I think a lot newer games should do this where they have multiple difficulty settings. You have your easy, where you can go limitlessly and chill, and then you have like your medium difficulty, which is like you can still go limitlessly, moderately easier, but it's still like kind of sweaty. Like, I would see it as kind of like a Cold War Zombies is a good medium difficulty of Zombies, where their health caps out at round 60 and their damage and shit, but it's still really difficult because it's all super sprinters and like kind of spammed bosses and shit. I'm fine with that level of crazy because I'd consider it more of a medium difficulty. But then you have your like super hard difficulty where it's more like older Zombies or older survival, where it's a lot more difficult to go to those higher rounds and you have to look up strategies to do so, or like do a lot of testing. I think that'd be a lot better kind of gameplay. I think that's what a lot newer horde modes should be. I guess these people don't want to innovate. There's my thoughts. If you want to see Modern Warfare 3 gameplay, I'm uploading a lot of it onto my gameplay channel, but soon I might have to take a pause with the gameplay channel because it's really difficult to keep up with schoolwork, gameplay channel, and my actual job when I need to save for car and college and shit. So there's a lot, you know. It's not, I'm not trying to, maybe I'm the bitch. I don't know, but I might take a pause. I don't know, we'll see. It's very difficult with the amount of games. I want to do Cold War, I want to do BO6, I want to do probably Modern Warfare content if I enjoy that game. Maybe some Counter-Strike stuff, Enlisted, Modern Warfare 3, and I want to branch out of COD as well. Like, I just said Enlisted and Counter-Strike, but, you know, I want to do other shit too, but it's just kind of difficult because COD's the easiest shit that you just jump into and record and then, like, get that shit done. And anyways, if you want to see Modern Warfare 3 content, there's some of it on my gameplay channel, and if I like Modern Warfare 2019 enough, I'll probably do some of that as well. So, anyways, yeah. Adios, muchachos.